It is the year 106 AD in Rome. The empire is at war on multiple fronts, and the army desperately needs soldiers. But something peculiar has begun happening in the streets. A growing number of men, many of them perfectly healthy, have started wearing women's clothing. Not as entertainment, not as ritual, but as a legal strategy. The reason was stupidly logical. Under existing Roman law, women were legally exempt from military service. A man who dressed as a woman, adopted a female name, and maintained the appearance was technically operating in a legal grey zone. The law, you see, had never anticipated anyone being quite this dedicated to avoiding the legions. These weren't isolated cases. By the early 100s, this loophole had become widespread enough that Roman officials began filing complaints. Entire cohorts of potential recruits were vanishing into what amounted to a legal cross-dressing rebellion. The bureaucracy was baffled. The generals were furious. Emperor Domitian, who ruled with the diplomatic temperament of a scorpion in a wine cup, eventually got wind of this phenomenon. His response was characteristically unsubtle. If the law said women were exempt from military service, then anyone claiming to be a woman would be treated as one. Permanently. In 106 AD, Domitian issued a decree. Any man who claimed the legal status of a woman to avoid military service would lose all male rights. They would be stripped of property, inheritance rights, and citizenship privileges. They could not marry, testify in court, or own land as men. They would be legally female in every way. The practical implications were devastating for anyone considering the loophole. A man who successfully dressed as a woman for military exemption would gain immunity from the army. He would also gain permanent, irrevocable status as a non-citizen in his own republic. No inheritance. No legal recourse. No property. The joke had become a prison. Almost instantly, the cross-dressing military dodge collapsed. Young men who had been shopping for fabrics suddenly developed a keen interest in bronze helmets. The rush to voluntarily enlist was remarkable. It turned out Romans preferred the risk of Dacian spears to permanent legal castration, metaphorically speaking. The law achieved something remarkable. It simultaneously closed a legal loophole, terrified an entire generation of draft dodgers, and created a century of Roman soldiers who preferred actual combat to the alternative. Whether Domitian intended this as cruel genius or accidentally stumbled into the world's most effective military recruitment strategy remains unclear. The beauty of this law was that it required no enforcement. The threat alone was enough. Rome had weaponized bureaucracy, transforming a legal loophole into a psychological trap. Sometimes the cruelest laws are the ones that make you do exactly what those in power wanted all along, simply to avoid something worse. Nothing says legal genius quite like accidentally inventing the world's most humiliating military recruitment drive. Rome, where even the laws are willing to destroy your dignity to get you into formation.